just proving, of course, that there was no interference and Mike Pence irresponsible. In very unusual news for the Jewish community, Israel finished third in the Under 20 World Cup, which I guess is like a bronze medal, which is pretty darn good for Israel, who's not known for their prowess in sports. If you think back to Jewish glory that the rest of the world celebrates, it's really the celebration of Hanukkah, where it was the might, the physical might of the Maccabees that defeated the Greeks. Sporting has never been really overflowed with Jewish people, Jewish superstars, and it's really nice news that the Israeli team finished third in the Under 20 World Cup. Hopefully, one day Israel actually will make it to the real World Cup, and one day will be crowned champions. After leaving Fox News, Tucker Carlson re-aired on Twitter. The first show he had on Twitter, I think there were close to 88 million people who tuned in, which is far more than any news broadcast he was doing on Fox. I think the average news broadcast goes to about 5 million people. Even he that was popular wasn't more than 10 million people. I think this is the future of news. You know, they call it the legacy media that provides the daily news on television. But I really feel that with social media, people really want the real story. And when you go around social media, you really hear two sides to the story. When it comes to the legacy media, there's really only one way of looking at things. But you get a broader picture when you have social media. I think this is a good thing for the world. Denver last night closed out the NBA Finals, winning NBA Finals in 5 games over the Miami Heat. Nikola Jokic was named the Finals MVP after a masterful postseason where he basically led all players in the postseason, not only in points, in rebounds, and assists as a center, which is the first time it ever happened in the history of the NBA. I will say this, the one takeaway I had was the final game, the score was 94-89. Both teams shot very poorly, but it's reminiscent of the olden days where games had scores like this. Even this postseason, a lot of scores were much lower than the regular season. NBA has to do something to figure out during the regular season how to have lower scoring games, to emphasize defense, because really that makes basketball really enjoyable and watchable and competitive. Maybe shortening the season or offering incentives for defense, I think would make the NBA regular season a lot better. In a very strange bit of news, Jeff Bezos, who is the third richest man in the world, on May 25th, he bought one share of Amazon stock at $114. It's now worth close to $126. So they're saying he made a $12 profit. It's very highly questionable why he would do this. I mean, he owns tons of Amazon stock, which is principally makes up most of his wealth. Why he would do this, my thoughts on why he would buy one share of stock, I don't know. As someone who owns very little in the stock market, it's very exciting when you buy new stock or a couple shares of stock and seeing growth. You know, he's had his Amazon stock for a long time. He's missing out on the excitement of the stock market, of seeing your stock go up. And even if he only makes $12, part of the stock market is the enjoyment and the excitement of it. There's a lot of discussion going on about obese people who fly on airlines, whether they have to buy an extra seat or whether they should be given an extra seat for free. A lot of airlines have different policies. Some airlines make you buy an extra seat, but if there's an extra seat on the plane, they'll give you that extra seat for free. In my opinion, if you're obese and you can't fit into one seat, or even if you could fit into one seat, but you're going to make it uncomfortable for the person sitting next to you, I think you should be forced to buy a second seat. Not everyone who's obese, it's their fault. Some people are born like that. Some people have genetic diseases. Some people, it's hard for them to keep their weight down. But at the end of the day, it's not fair to the person next to you. And just like if you went to buy a car and you had a big family of 8 kids, you're not going to demand, give me a bigger car for the same price as a small car because I have a big family. It is what it is, and you should pay double.